Read all the stories about BYU sports no one else has heard. Go to KSLSports.com for exclusive columns by BYU insider Mitch Harper. That's KSLSports.com.
That's me. Welcome back into First and 12. Mitch Harper, Alex Kirry with you. We hold it down every single Sunday during the Big 12 football season, and we're doing it big this year because it's a 16-team Big 12, and we love optionality. We're going to be additive.
Optionality.
I got to bring in some bright Yormarkisms to every show. Every show, and
it sounds like an offense that's being run in the Big 12 somewhere. He runs the optionality.
I don't know why every time I try to do Yormark, it's a hint of Trump.
I know it does. It does. It's like a.
They didn't say we'd be on top. We'd be back on top, but we might not be back on top.
Right.
I don't know.
But you know what? At the same time, like they both have a lot of that that schmoozy salesman-y kind of thing, right? Like that's the vibe you get.
But Yormark is open for business.
Yes, he is.
He has done a great job with this league where they're surviving. They're not the Pac-12 right now, and that is half the battle, is survive and advance as a conference every single year, and they survive and advance to week 2, these 16 teams in the Big 12. And I think the schedule is a lot better next week, Alex, and it starts off here locally. BYU going to go to the traditional Big 12 area, Dallas, to take on an ACC team in SMU. BYU, SMU, Friday night. A Cougs important game here to maybe continue to build this momentum.
Somebody was telling me that, and this is a massive mistake, massive oversight by SMU. They started putting up tickets for a couple of bucks. Like if you're going to get some members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints out to a game somewhere else, and you throw out a low price on a ticket, I'm sorry, you're going to get shown out by the visiting crew. But yeah, that's an SMU team that they have a history, right? And they played in the bowl game a couple of seasons ago, and obviously people think of the Miracle Bowl, very, very different time. But yeah, this is an SMU team that's now in the ACC, and BYU goes down there. I maintain they need to go 2-1 at the very least in their out-of-conference schedule. And now that you see that Wyoming could have some chinks in the armor, and you see SMU isn't necessarily as perfect as a team you think, there might be a possibility for BYU to steal one at SMU and then go up to Laramie and do the same thing up there as well. But that's a tall task, and that's maybe me getting a little bit ahead of myself there. But either way.
It's going to be a hot one, too, and that's one of the reasons they discounted the tickets. 96 degrees is the projected temp, so it is going to be a scorcher for BYU in Dallas. Utah going to have we talked about it in the last segment. They're going to have a game against a Big 12 team, but it's a non-conference matchup because it's a carryover of a home-and-home series from last year. Utes going to host the Baylor Bears. Baylor, this team's better. And DeQuan Finn, the quarterback, they bring in offensive coordinator Jake Spavital, who's a former head coach. Baylor gave Utah an absolute scare last season with the pig farmer. That was the worst offensive football I've probably seen from Utah in about 15 years, since the early years of the Kyle Whittingham tenure. I think Utah rolls in this one, but maybe Baylor can make it a little more interesting than what they were at the end of last season.
Yeah, we talked about Dave Aranda and how much of a hot seat he's on, and I don't think it gets much better next week because Baylor could go in and they could be the next victim of Cam Rising finding another gear, and that could be a tough one for them. The Battle of Iowa and Iowa State. Did you see that the Iowa Hawkeyes yesterday put up 40 points in a shutout? So, hey, don't discount Kirk Ferentz's blazing offensive possibilities there for the Hawkeyes. But that's a big one, of course, because Iowa State, I think, is one of those teams that could absolutely surprise some people. I don't know why people discount what Matt Campbell can do. Rocco Beck, Abu Sama, this is a team that I really like, and they're going to Iowa. They're facing off against a Hawkeyes team that's just perennially ranked high and don't have much going on the offensive side of the football. But they're kicking things off easy there for this kind of quasi in-state rivalry between those two teams.
And it's one of a handful of Big 12 games against Big 10 or SEC foes next week. Oklahoma State hosts Arkansas. And Arkansas had a massive performance with the return of Bobby Petrino. They went 10 for 10 consecutive drives with 10 touchdowns. Arkansas looks loaded, so that's going to be a really good test for Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State. And then Kansas.
Did you just throw out a it's good to have Bobby Petrino back in Arkansas?
Yes.
Reference? Is that what you did? Wow.
Yeah. Well,
the redemption trail.
Let's face it. The guy, he's got great offense. The neck brace was iconic, but
the neck brace.
It had to be brought up.
What a dork that guy is.
That
Sugar
Bowl hat and the neck brace, that's iconic. Look, that's a great fit. That's
we
Bobby
were on
Petrino's fit.
I was in a motorcycle accident. Oh, my goodness.
Kansas goes to Illinois, and then Colorado. This is going to be a good one. They go at Nebraska. Do you think the Buffs can upset the Cornhuskers?
You know, the Cornhuskers are interesting because Matt Rule typically does well in year two. I just don't believe it all in Colorado. They're going to Memorial Stadium, too. Lincoln's not an easy place to play. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. This used to be one of the premier matchups in all of college football. It's been relegated to us looking at it going, is that even going to be a good game? But we'll see. I believe Nebraska is going to get Colorado. I don't know what Colorado's got going on, but right now it's not good vibes, and it certainly is not a lot of consistency.
One thing we do have going on next week, we're all Houston Cougar fans, and it's probably not going to lead to much, but they're playing Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
And all the Big 12 can agree they're pulling for Houston to pull off a miracle, which I don't think is going to happen, but I bet the Big 12 offices in Irving are hoping for it to happen.
A couple of former stops of May He Rest coach Mike Leach, Washington State hosting Texas Tech. Washington State, by the way, putting up a lot of points in this last first week. And Texas Tech, obviously, last year they went on the road to Wyoming, and that was not good for Joey McGuire's squad hitting the road. And Washington State, I think, just like Oregon State, has got a lot to prove this year as a two-team power conference, the Pac-12. It's back, baby.
Would you, Alex? I'm asking you on the spot here.
Yes.
Would you want UConn or Washington State as a member in the Big 12 next?
Washington State, hands down.
Not even a question. Not even a debate.
Not even a question. What is
UConn basketball doesn't do it for you?
No, it does not.
Okay.
No, it does not. And honestly, it makes a difference to have a team that is kind of here. You know what I mean? I do not care about where is it? Storrs, Connecticut. I'm not interested in adding another team that BYU and Utah are going to have to travel out to. And, just for the sake of being like, oh, UConn's in the conference as a basketball team. No, thank you. Give me Oregon State and give me Washington State. I'm one of the few people that – and it's because I grew up a Pac-10 guy, a Pac-12 guy, so – I like those programs, and I think they bring you a lot, and I think that Washington State and Oregon State have a lot to prove this year. I bet Texas Tech goes up there, and they are going to struggle.
Arizona, TCU, they play FCS opponents. UCF's got Sam Houston. West Virginia's got Albany, an FCS opponent. Cincinnati's got a good one. Pittsburgh coming in, and Kansas State plays Tulane. So loaded schedule next week. I think we're going to have a lot more to kind of digest and learn, and kind of get a clearer picture of what these teams are looking like this season.
Mitch, we fired off the first week of 1st and 12,
we did it.
Man. You feel good about it?
I feel good. It's a good start.
Absolutely. Let's get it going. We got so much more to go. Mitch, this is going to be a fun season, man. I'm looking forward to it. Many thanks to our producer, Eric Cabrera, who does a phenomenal job every week. The team is back, baby. 1st and 12. Again, we'll be back again next week. Join Mitch on Tuesday for Cougar Nation. Join me every day on the KSL Sports Zone with Jeremiah Jensen, with JJ and Alex. We're going to be back again next week, another edition of 1st and 12. So for Mitch, I'm Alex. We'll talk to you next week, everybody.